a Sicilian beef stew. And by Sicilian, I mean it's flavored with aromatic orange zest, rosemary, and luscious green olives. So get out your slow cooker and let's start cooking. I'm trimming the last of about 6 shallots, and at the same time, I'm browning my last batch of 3 pounds of beef chuck in a cast iron skillet. I really believe in getting my meat browned before I put it into the slow cooker, and it just adds that little bit of extra flavor that I think is totally worth it. So get your meat browning, and while you're at it, you can prep your shallots and any other vegetables that you need to get ready. You're gonna need a total of 2 cups of shallots and also 1 head of fennel. You trim the fennel. If it's got fronds, you don't need those, so you can save them for garnish if you want to. Here's a head of fennel, and you want to cut it into 1/2-inch wedges. Keep the core in the hopes that maybe it'll stay together in the pot, though it doesn't usually, but you never know. It could happen. So get your fennel trimmed. Transfer the beef as it's browned straight into your slow cooker. And then you can saute your shallots. Add your shallots to the pan and give it a stir. You can season with salt and pepper. I've seasoned my beef already with salt and pepper as I was browning, but I like to season as I go along in each step of the way so the food ends up extra flavorful. I'm really into browning my meat in a cast iron skillet because, well, first of all, the cast iron skillet is a great tool, distributes heat really well, it's a great conductor of heat, but additionally, when your meat is splattering all over the sides of your pan and it gets kind of black, you don't even have to worry about it because your pan's already black and you won't even notice. You want to get your shallots just a little bit cooked down, slightly translucent, takes a couple minutes. Then you add your wine. It's a 1/2 cup of dry red wine to deglaze the pan. Get up all those brown bits from browning your meat. No point in browning it if you're not going to get every single bit of that flavor into your stew. So scrape up the brown bits from the bottom of your pan. I promise you they're there, even if you don't see them, because your skillet is so dark. And then this can go right into the slow cooker with your beef. Add your fennel. A sprig of rosemary. I would say it's about 6 inches long. Don't overdo it because rosemary is very intense and there's no evaporation in a slow cooker, so you want to make sure that you have a nice balance. Then 2 strips of orange zest. I'd say about 3 inches long. That adds so much flavor. Just for a little good measure, a little bit of salt, pepper. And then 1 28-ounce can of tomatoes broken up. Pour the liquid into the pot. Makes it easier. You need the liquid too. Just cut them up a bit. They'll cook down a little bit more, but it's amazing how long tomatoes can cook, especially if they're already at this stage processed without breaking down. So if you don't want to be eating big chunks of tomato, you want to make sure you cut it up at this point before they go into the pot. Okay, now your tomatoes can go into the slow cooker. Cover that up. Add the rest of the juices. Now, put the cover on. Turn your cooker on to high, and 4.5 hours later, you're gonna have an amazing stew. Okay, 4 hours have passed. I'm ready to add my final ingredient. It's a cup of green olives. My preferred kind of green olive is Castelvetrano, which is a really mild green olive. They should be pitted. These have been cut off. You can also crush them and remove the pit. Stir them in. They just need to heat through, and the heat of the stew in the pot is enough to do that at this point. So you just stir them in and turn off your slow cooker. And you can see that this is a beautiful, rich stew. The juices from the beef have mixed with the juices of the tomato and made a really, really nice sauce. You don't need to do anything else, but if you'd like to, if you want it slightly thicker, you can spoon off or drain off the sauce and just reduce it a little bit on top of the stove for additional richness, but it's not a necessary thing to do. serve it with mashed potatoes or with polenta. Oh, these are rich. And then spoon it on top. Makes a generous amount. So if you're serving 4 people, you can make this, you can freeze some. And then spoon your stew over your mashed potatoes. Get ready to smile. Oh, yes. I'm always amazed at how much liquid and juices and deliciousness comes out of food in the slow cooker. All commingling together and becoming one amazing something. And in this case, it's an amazing Sicilian beef stew. The hint of orange there is amazing. You're gonna love it. Give it a try.